I didn't hit it. Okay. And we are live.
Modeling School.
Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School, where religion, politics, science, and madness lines have been blurred. I am the Fat Mantis, your host, and I'm here with my co-host,
Steve, running no gimmicks. What's going on, everyone?
the infamous. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Another Tuesday night, ready to get this work. Poor P. Diddy.
We've got a crazy show today. We might be skipping our honorable mentions because we've just got so many wonderful topics going, hitting up in our chat. We've got the infamous Low over here. He says, let's go. I love it. We've also got Dragon Lady. Hello, Stephen Mantis. Hello. And we've got Rogue Radio, the infamous. She's really our partner in crime. Like a sister to us, and an amazing streamer. You need to check out her channel. If you're not, she's on all apps as Rogue Radio, and she does, well, she's going to do topics that you're not ready for, which is why you should listen.
Yes, you need to be ready. You need to get ready.
Get ready. Get in the mindset. Steve and Mantis are my antidepressants. Thank you so much, Rogue.
Thank you, Rogue. Lowe says I'm here for the Diddy talk. No Diddy all day.
Let's get right into it. So this motherfucker's framed. I'm sorry, guys. I had to.
Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. the Diddler. Epstein,
the Diddler. Yes, I love that.
Epstein Black was arrested in New York yesterday at around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I was on my way home from my day job, and I just happened to throw on the Star Report because I saw the banner, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And the feds picked him up, man, and this is all based off of the raid they did on his house where he went Carmen Sandiego a few months ago and skipped town. And reportedly, they found tons of baby oil and other things.
Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, So.
Yes. He's been accused and not limited to racketeering, human trafficking of minors is one of the charges I'm heard being thrown out there. So, want to tread lightly on that one. And also, a lot of people are speculating that this stems from not just a raid on his house by the feds a few months back, but obviously his former life partner, Cassie's lawsuit. A lot of evidence coming out of that. And it's not looking too good, man. It's not looking too good.
And so here's the thing. They're like, we found a lot of assault weapons. Well, you raid any celebrity's house, you're going to find assault weapons. I bet you if you raided Taylor Swift's house, you would find assault weapons, because what sane rich person doesn't have a lot of weapons lying around their house, right?
Exactly. I'm a person. I got weapons everywhere.
Yeah. Get him, feds, get him. But you had said the Black Epstein, and so obviously Steve isn't just pulling that out of the vacuum. For those who don't know, in the celebrity world, and this is even before Epstein was captured and caught, but celebrities knew what Epstein did for them, and they also knew what Diddy did, and his nickname going around Hollywood was the Black Epstein, because he was the guy who provided the girls.
Yeah, man, and apparently provided more than that, man. So, I mean, where do you want to attack this thing from first, man? Because I've heard everything under the sun in regards to this. Actually, shout out to Star from the Star Report. One of the things he levied out there was that Keefe D, the man who's currently on trial for the murder of Tupac, might have offered Diddy up on a plate, for a new proffer agreement, and is exposing Diddy, and it's everywhere. Every angle that this thing can come from, people are attacking. And Brother Love, one of the many monikers that Sean Combs has, they denied his bail, by the way. They denied his
bail. It's that bad, or should I say they want to railroad him that bad? And
okay.
So, and let's hear what I'm saying and be clear about this. I am not saying he's innocent. I'm saying I don't like to call someone innocent or guilty before I actually know. I wasn't there for it. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to be in the courtroom. So how dare I say that he's innocent or guilty? But right. I will say this. And this is just the way it is. When you are rich and powerful and they want you to go down, you will go down. And so if the government's like, we want this man down, there will be 25 witnesses who were all happen to be there the night you murdered somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny, you swore you were only there with your best friend, but for some reason there'll be 25 of them out there, and they'll tell all sorts of wild stories, and they will make sure that they can bury you in a vault where you were never seen again. And I think it's clear they're doing this to him.
Okay, so you feel like this is a setup. You feel like, but why would the powers that be coming after Sean Combs?
So here's what it is. I think he was caught on regular crimes, like yes, trafficking girls or whatever. He's caught on it. However, he has, like Epstein, a celebrity list. He has rich, important people that he sold underage prostitutes to, and they want to make sure he's never able to talk about that. That's my theory of the crime.
Okay, so you're saying that I get you. So they want to. You feel like he's going to get Epstein any day now while he's
there's no way he's getting a fair trial. We can take that idea right at your head.
Pony is over on Rumble. What's up, Pony?
What up, Pones?
So listen, man, here's my thing, right? There for years have been speculation, not about this type of stuff, as far as I know, before the Cassie stuff. I mean, people have called into question his sexuality for years, but him being shady has always been a talking point in hip hop, in the community, that Sean Puffy Combs, you can't trust him as far as you can throw him. Now, I'm not going to go as far as you and say that the man's being railroaded. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but the evidence right now it's not looking good, right? And the feds have the high conviction rate they do because they really only prosecute cases that they can prosecute, right?
Right. I mean, that's like...
Yeah, they don't want an embarrassing situation on their hands. But all that damn baby oil in the house, with your kids, the freak offs, LeBron James saying there ain't no party like a Diddy party. I got a video of Drake begging Diddy to come, asking Diddy to come over. What? I mean, this is crazy, man. This is crazy.
I mean, it's crazy on so many levels. And so I think we've talked about this on other shows, how, Diddy was part of this whole... you have a hip hop squire. They live in your house as a kid. Yeah. Shady things happen, right, both with substances and with bodily autonomy. And then he gives you a record deal.
Well put. So you're referring to his relationship with Usher, I think.
Usher, and then later on Justin Bieber. And it's funny. I knew Justin Bieber did this with Usher, but originally he started out as P. Diddy's housemate, and then he passed him along to Usher. And if you feel really gross about the way I said passed him along, you should, because that's where I'm going with that.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm wildly uncomfortable.
Yes, the way you cope, I get it. Lo says there's plenty of reasonable explanations for having thousands of bottles of baby oil hidden in your house. Yo, absolutely. Lo says that's really makes all of what?
I would like to hear 3 of those plausible reasons.
3 of the reasons. Right. He says that's really makes all of Hollywood feel even more dark. I mean, Hollywood's already pretty dark. I mean, they worship the devil. They drink children's blood. And now this. Right? What up, Sheldon Ice Watson?
And now
let me ask you, did you ever, listen to, I knew him as Puff, But did you ever listen to Puff? Did you ever like Puff? Did you ever think he had validity as an artist?
Listen to Puff as an artist, right? I listened to the songs that he made or allegedly made because they were the popular songs, man. Like tracks that he was featured on with, say, Mace, for instance, or The Lox, or when he came out with the his first solo album, which was really just a bunch of artists featured on an album where he allegedly made beats for. Obviously, I listened to that type of stuff, man. I always found him to be more annoying than anything else, man. He was, especially when excuse me. Never mind.
and then he sneezes.
I always found him to be more of an annoyance, like a weak soldier in the what up, Rico? A weak soldier in the army, especially when the whole thing was going down between the West Coast and the East Coast. Biggie and Tupac. It's like you really don't want that guy dancing in the background, being low hanging fruit lyrically.
I have to absolutely address what Shaolin Iceboxer, my brother in arms, has to say. He said 90s Bad Boy was peak hip hop. Now, I want to clarify what I think you're saying. Okay? So, because here's my experience with the whole thing. I love Biggie and everything Biggie and people around Biggie had done. And after Biggie passed, suddenly his producer is like, I'm going to rap. And I'm going to wear metallic jumpsuits. And I'm going to act like I'm the fucking clown of hip hop.
Right.
And I was like, who is this idiot? The problem is he had all the best, because he was the producer, he got all the best beats. And you couldn't go into a club or a party without him being played. And so that's why I feel like I kind of like, of course I bobbed my head, but I tolerated this man.
Exactly.
Right? But I don't think he was peak. I definitely not bad. 90s Bad Boy was peak, but I don't include him in the peakness. He was mid.
He himself is not an artist, man. He's an executive, and I've always seen him just as that. Now, I will acknowledge this, man. He put on, or allegedly put on, a lot of the artists that Shaolin's talking about, man. Like some of the best songs I've ever heard in my life have had P. Diddy saying a few words on it, like Epic, the Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear remix. Bad Boys, that's epic stuff right there. That's classic stuff. But I never, to answer your original question and to Shaolin's point, never considered him hip hop. And I agree with you. He was more of someone I tolerated, right? And like I said, man, he was more of an annoyance, right? Like to me, he's everything that's wrong with hip hop.
Yeah, and that's why I was always like, this clown, this idiot, of course. And that's the thing. That's why he made Mace his apprentice. He was like, Mace is here and he's on all my tracks, because Mace was amazing when he was young. He was utterly amazing. And so he got to, because he was the producer, he got to pick who comes on to his thing. He got to pick the beats, the club hit beats that he gets. And so of course his music was fun and good, but he had never said a verse that I ever had respect for.
No, I can't ever think of one Puffy verse where I was just like, man, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
Right. Run it back. I need to hear that again. Never have I said those words about him. Lo says, my theory is that his music was a signal code for what he provided. Oh.
Ooh. And what is it exactly that we think that he provided?
Well, I mean, he was a pimp it's clear that he was a pimp. I think they have different words for that when you're a rich pimp, but nonetheless, you're a pimp. He provided the girls. He came to parties with 20 women, and they were all getting banged and paid that night.
He was a man of leisure and provided leisurely pleasures.
right. Shaolin Icebox was like, all Diddy's all his dumbass did was stupid ad libs on other people's songs and dance like a jackass. Yes, and he also, I will say, he invented stupid dancing in videos.
Oh, absolutely. But
he would always get it close, like he was always doing this.
What's crazy is that people actually thought Diddy could dance for Minnie and Moon, man. But I got a video queued up if you wanna watch it in regards to Diddy. It's the latest one I'm sending you in Discord. It's basically outside of the courtroom. We got to be really careful of which videos we play, because any of the larger networks that are reporting on this will copyright the content. So, I got to go to places like the Associated Press, who still believe in free speech.
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
There we go. That's the big boy word I was looking for. Real quick before we get into the thing, Lowe says Puff Daddy equals drug/weed. He changed it to P Diddy when he expanded to prostitution.
Yeah, man. None of us are ever gonna forget that video that surfaced of him dragging Cassie around the hotel room. But I always assumed Diddy was on this shit, man. Maybe not the sexual allegation shit, but I assumed he was on some gangster shit. I definitely think he's at the root of what happened with Tupac for sure.
Absolutely. I actually thought you were about to mention like the allegations that he's gay. But I think he swings in every direction possible. And so supposedly the leaks from the courtroom with Cassie is that the reason she was running from that hotel room is he was making her do stuff with randos they met on the streets. That allegedly. Don't sue me now.
Yo, how much money do you have to have before you get to that place where you're just like, you know what? Normal sex just doesn't cut it for me anymore. Bring the aardvark in.
Yeah, it's like my fiance has to bang a homeless man for me to get off. You've gone down a dark rabbit hole, man. You need Jesus in your life if you've hit that thing. Rico says, Diddy, a pawn in a big game, realistically. Wow.
Yes. Now, that is an opinion that I have, man. If someone's providing and satiating appetites throughout Hollywood, the appetite existed. He's just the latest person to meet the need of the appetite. In fact, I feel like we need to really look at something, man. Pimps are providing a service to an appetite that requires their service. I'm not condoning anything, but there's a deeper story here, man. And that's why Epstein never made it the case. And that's why the Ghislaine Maxwell thing never blew up. People are like, oh, no, you don't, pimp. Remember, you're satiating our dark base appetite, and we have the power.
And so, this, you know what? This always happens to the pimps. And so, do you like the original Game of Thrones?
The show.
Yeah. So, do you remember how Littlefinger was the brothel guy, and he started gaining more property, and therefore he got a title, and he thought he was all this tough shit. And then there's this one scene where he's talking to the queen, Cersei, and she has her guards around her, and he implies that he knows her dark secret with her brother. And as soon as she says it, before he finishes his sentence, she says, seize him. And then they grab him, and it's like 6 dudes grab him, and she's like, slit his throat. And they pull out a blade, and she's like, you know what? Actually, stop. Let him live. And they drop him on the ground, and she just shows him how quickly he is nothing.
Yeah.
He is. You were here to provide girls to partiers. Yes. And then shut the fuck up. And you know you can get paid if you do this, but you really don't have any power, and you're here to entertain us.
And that's it's funny because no one understood the latter more than Littlefinger, the ascent to power, but he just overestimated his station and
his ability to climb it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he overestimated his station. And same thing with Diddy and Epstein, man. The powers that be don't see you as anything more than a sandwich bringer. You're on the same level as the guy who brings bagels into the office, right?
right, exactly. Shaolin clarifies. He says, "Oh man, I'm talking about Craig Mack, Biggie, Total, Mace, Little Kim, and the Locks." Yeah, absolutely. We got every one of those acts. I'd say I loved back in the.
And most of those people don't have anything nice to say about Diddy, man. They don't have anything nice to say about Diddy at all.
And well, you know, Kanye said it West when he says, "I felt like Bad Boy Street Team. I couldn't work the locks."
Yeah, exactly.
Rico says maybe a rook or a horse. You mean a knight, bro? You mean a knight? that is some ghetto shit. He's like, my horse takes your queen.
Physically.
Yeah. Lowe says we all know that Epstein and Diddy are just the enforcers of the Clinton Foundation. Don't sue us, Clinton.
Oh boy.
Diddy be wanting to party? Yes, he does. Now,
isn't it crazy that this story broke right after someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump for the second time?
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about that because so many theories on that one, and I hope Hope Rogue Radio is still in here by the time we get to it, because there's things to be said,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, since we didn't do our preamble before, make sure you support RizRadio.com, the home of Fanboy Modeling School, Mic Check, and Burn Your Degree. Go over to RizRadio.com. Go for it.
And actually, something else is happening. Some big news. You're going to be hearing more of Mantis on Riz Radio. So I'm going to be taking over the top 40 spot Fridays at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, that's gonna it's gonna be the Bop 40 countdown with the Fat Mantis. There.
Repping that blood shit, changing every word to have a B in it.
So please check me out. I start this Friday. It's Friday. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going down to top 40. That's everything from pop, country, and hip hop scenes. We're doing a general list, and it's gonna be a good time. So please stop in.
It's gonna be fun. All right, let's see what we got here, man.
I don't know. That's one of the things I'm going to go see. But I'm going to run, you guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, fellas. Bye, everybody. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be around all day. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
I assume this is his attorney?
I guess.
All right. Maybe try to
Oh, they're actually showing us them waiting around for him to show up?
I don't know why. The Associated Press, they're really... Here we go.
Are you for real? We're watching them set up the mics? And people say our show is boring.
I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney.
Oh, here we go. They're going to show pictures of the video?
Okay, so a few assault weapons. I do not judge celebrities who have assault weapons. I'm a pro right to bear arms guy. He's probably preparing for the apocalypse.
How to make sure. Oh man, I almost said some way out shit. Have that baby oil on deck.
That'd be funny if they just had pictures of baby oil. Tons of it, like mad pictures.
Look at that.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start the Sean Combs press conference in about 2 minutes.
Fast forward.
If you have any questions about presentment, I'll come back out and we'll go over timing and
Lowe sent excuses from the police regarding Trump's protection system.
And he often electronically recorded them.
What the hell?
The freak-off sometimes lasted days at a time.
This guy like
Involved
teleports in here. No,
Right.
Here in the Southern District of New York.
okay.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Wow.
Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs. And he often electronically...
I'm sorry. It is horrific. Human trafficking is bad, but that was funny. Yo, wait, hold on. Are all the charges stemming from male prostitutes?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna cut to commercial, guys. I did not see that coming.
Pause.
I did not see that coming at all. What are we gonna do with this?
Lowe says, I feel like those assault rifles should result in a few years off his sentence. Possibly.
I agree. Do we know any of the victims being underage, or is just men and women adults?
No victims have been named at this time. The only victim that's come public have been Cassie, the guy that's suing him, that's in jail right now, and the other guy who brought the original suit against him, Meek Mill and Usher.
So here's what I knew in his personal life.
Alleged.
He said, yes, allegedly he had some accusations back in the day that during college he had SA'd more than one male. He's had multiple accusations in his younger years. However, they didn't rise until after he was famous, and so I wrote them off as someone trying to sue him. Right?
Yeah.
Someone's just like, you hang out with Trump for a few hours. 20 years later, when he's running for president, you're like, I'm going to sue him. He abused me. Like, okay, sure, guy. Sure.
And Rogue pointed out something. Somehow TD Jakes is mixed up in all of this. The other guy, that's his favorite male prostitute, TD Jakes. Yeah. I'll get you some videos on TD Jakes and the connection.
Oh my God, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Guys, I feel like I'm a bigot because I'm so like I become flabbergasted when I find out it's male prostitutes. I'm like, oh.
I mean, if you want to go there real quick with the TD Jakes thing, man. Look. Listen, yeah, this is premium news right here. Click the video I just sent you. This shit is not for the faint of heart, man. It's not for the faint of heart. We'll get back to the legalities in a second. This guy, this studious man here, I'm sure he's got all the facts. But some of you are here for the bullshit, and some of you want to hear the bullshit. And we're going to provide the bullshit, the conspiratorial rabbit hole that this is going down. Because again, the reason why this is so hard to articulate is for as long as I've been listening to hip hop and Puffy's been around, there have been rumors about his shadiness, but it has never, in my estimation, ever gone to anything sexual. I believe this is a gentleman that used to be his security guard or in his security team. And whatever he says, he's responsible for. These are not the views of Fanboy Modeling School. It's just out on the internet. So, we're going to play it for you.
Rico says, what about Justin Bieber? So here's the thing. I'm gonna name names, but I'm not gonna blatantly say what I think is going on. So, do you remember when Me Too blew up?
Yeah.
And there was all these allegations, and people were throwing all these things. And somebody had asked Glenn Close what she had thought of it, and she said, "I think this little." She was talking about a particular case, and she said, "I think this little girl should shut up, and we don't have time for these allegations." And she stormed off. And so the way I took that to mean is that stuff happened to her, and she wants to close the door and never talk about it and never make it a thing. That's
Really?
what I took from that reaction. I mean, how do you take that reaction? Why would a woman not want another woman to make allegations against somebody?
I got to do a little bit more research into it. I'm looking at it right now. Let me just see here. Close tells the Sunday Times that she has had 2 experiences of sexual harassment connected to her work, both in auditions. One was in front of an established Hollywood producer. He sat behind his desk with one of the biggest stars ever, who, in the middle of our reading, put his hand on my thigh. Okay, I can see where you're going with that. I can see where you're going with that.
And so, using that same logic, it is possible that like Usher and Bieber, they are big celebrities and they're running the thing. It may benefit them to never speak up about anything.
Yes.
Because it can only hurt their careers, actually.
Yeah, that's the duplicity of these type of accusations when it comes to men, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, the plate of it.
Yeah.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird.
Men kissing men and all this other. That's crazy.
In the middle of chaos, because after a while, anytime you know too much, you stop living your best self.
You won't believe what's been uncovered at Diddy's mansion. As federal agents swarmed his lavish estates in Miami and Holmby Hills, what they found was far more scandalous than anyone could have imagined. Rumors of Diddy's involvement in a sex trafficking inquiry have been swirling, but the latest revelation takes the scandal to a whole new level.
Replete with very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his...
But that's not even the most shocking part. An insider has leaked a snippet of an audio recording featuring Diddy engaged in an intimate act with none other than Pastor T.D. Jakes. Yes, you heard that right. In this jaw-dropping excerpt, Diddy can be heard spanking the pastor during what appears to be a steamy rendezvous. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
What the hell?
While we can only share a glimpse of the scandalous audio, there's reportedly a treasure trove of incriminating evidence uncovered during the search.
I need a minute. I'm gonna need a minute, guys. Yo, what the fuck? What is
And no one has verified if that's real audio. No one's verified if that's real audio, man. Like Charlotte says, the TD Jakes stuff. I don't know what the real connection is between these two, other than them sharing a video. But
Rogue was just making a joke, but apparently her psychic powers kicked in.
Oh,
what WB Travis?
What about Travis? Travis Scott?
Oh, is that who you're talking about? I don't know anything about Travis Scott's past. I don't know. Was he?
Everyone said that was me. Oh my goodness!
Sheldon says AI. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Or basically, you know what I do love? What do you call them? Freakouts, freak fests,
freak offs.
Freak offs. There we go. We're gonna uncover all these videos, and actually, his trial might be like the fun of 2025. Like that might be the best news thing to cover. You're
assuming it's gonna make it to trial. Because if I'm in Diddy's position, right? Pause. If I'm in the situation he finds himself in, the next thing we got to think he's going Frank Lucas. If we don't know who Frank Lucas is, he's one of the most memorable gangsters from the Harlem era, man. And he went, state's evidence and got a bunch of cops and gangsters locked up. You got to think that Diddy's going to be willing to tell. Nothing about his character screams stop snitching to me. I'm thinking he's getting his proffer agreement together right now, or his deal together. This man is about to sing a lullaby, and for that reason, he's going to be in Abraham's bosom very shortly.
Yes. Matt, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. How are you? He says, hail, man. He says, hail, Steve. Hail to the chat. How are you, brother? We are uncovering all the nasty details of P. Diddy's arrest and the supposed tapes and audio tapes he has of encounters with celebrities, including T.D. Jakes. And with an audio that we're not going to replay. I never want to hear that audio ever again. Okay, let's keep going. Let's hope this. Yeah.
Searches. Flash drives filled with recordings hint at a world of secrets and illicit affairs. But what else lies hidden in the depths of Diddy's mansion?
That you've been raped, that you've been drugged, that you've experienced sexual assault. One would imagine that you've also made those same complaints.
As the investigation unfolds, the public is left reeling from the shocking revelations. With Diddy's sons briefly detained during the search and Homeland Security agents combing through every corner, the magnitude of the scandal is becoming clearer. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this sordid affair, uncovering the truth behind Diddy's connection to Pastor T.D. Jakes. But beware, the deeper we dig, the darker the secrets we unearth.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
And before we delve into the disturbing discoveries made during the investigation, let's shed some light on the enigmatic figure of Bishop T.D. Jakes and his perplexing relationship with Diddy. Known for his inspirational sermons and influential presence, Bishop Jakes has long been a towering figure in both religious and cultural spheres. His collaboration with Diddy on the exclusive sermon series, Kingdom Culture with T.D. Jakes, raised eyebrows and sparked curiosity among fans and critics alike.
I think it's very inappropriate of a man of a cloth to be at a party like that and then dancing across the stage or dancing.
Their partnership seemed unlikely, considering Diddy's reputation in the entertainment industry and Bishop Jake's devout Christian background. Yet, it wasn't just their professional collaboration that raised eyebrows. Reports of Bishop Jakes attending Diddy's lavish parties and social gatherings left many wondering about the nature of their relationship. After all, what could a preacher possibly have in common with a music mogul known for his extravagant lifestyle?
Because he's dancing at Diddy party. But you have to understand that maybe his house ain't right.
Speculations ran wild.
Okay. So wait, hold on. Time out. I'm going to put my 2 cents. A pastor can be and should be friends with everyone he can, especially someone like Pete Diddy. Now the question is, do you go to his lavish parties filled with hookers and coke?
Yeah,
maybe that's a different thing. That's a different thing, but
you should definitely be providing spiritual counsel and calling them to repentance and those things of that nature, right?
Right.
But showing up to the freak offs at 2 a.m. is pulling up.
He's like, yeah, I'll do my sermon after this bump.
And I think we're using the term pastor very loosely in regards to TD Jakes. He is not what you would call a biblical pastor. He's more of a motivational speaker.
Is he? I didn't know that. I just knew he was
rarely
in the pastor
speaks about repentance or things of that nature from the scriptures. His sermons are definitely akin to like a Joel Osteen. They're here to make you feel good about doing bad things.
Although I will say this, Joel Osteen, sometimes on Sunday I'll like turn him on just because I'll flip into the channels he's on. He does use a lot of biblical stuff in his sermons. He's always telling Bible stories.
Incorrect.
Yeah, of course, he'll, but no, I don't think 100% of the time he's bad. Because I've seen him say sermons that I'm like, okay, this one isn't like, but anyway, we're not talking about him. We could do another episode on him.
There's a word described for Joel Osteen and all the other faith, prosperity gospel people, and it's called heresy. Right? These people are massaging you towards a very weak version of Christianity, and don't let me be your arbiter of truth. Just see if anything they say matches up with what's in the Bible.
Right. Not here, but I would argue. I'm just gonna say this: prosperity gospel is a problem. It is absolutely a problem. It's very attractive. But you know what else is a problem? Poverty gospel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that is also a big one that manipulates people and stuff. To be like, you're supposed to be poor. Oh, you got money? Give it to the church, fool. Because you're not so. A good Christian doesn't have money.
Yeah,
and so their pastors got a jet, while everyone in their parish is poor as shit because they've given it all.
And I would argue that's prosperity gospel. Listen, if your pastor's calling you to give to a building fund and there's no open records of where your money's going to, you are a part of a cult, not a church, right?
Right.
Like, you are called to many things per scripture, holiness being the highest among them. At no point does it condemn you in the pursuit of money. It's the love of money that is idolatry that is condemned in the Bible. That's a period, point blank, man. And it's so weird to see people try to reinvent and remix this whole concept where it's just as simple as this, man. Anything that pulls your heart and your attention away from God, according to the Christian or Judeo-Christian worldview, is a sin.
I absolutely agree. I will say this. I think that, I watch a lot of pastors on YouTube. I think they spend a lot of time attacking each other. And the truth is that no pastor is 100% perfect.
No,
they all have flaws, and all right, they have a lot of flaws in their thing. And meanwhile, they're like ripping each other apart and stuff for clicks. So
yeah, I mean, there was a time on YouTube and Twitter where where pastors were going back and forth with each other. It was a few years back. I want to say like 2016, with the advent of what people call the woke gospel or the liberal gospel, and it's well documented. I do not think that you should you say something publicly, there's a chance someone's going to correct you publicly. I am of the thinking that you should reach out to someone who professes to be a Christian and call them to private counsel first. And then if they reject you and they're just like, no, my church needs, you're a Creflo Dollar figure, then it's open season, right?
You know what I realized? We should have another podcast. I know we have a million podcasts in the works. We should have another one where we just review Christianity YouTube and the relationships between the pastors. We watch their videos and we critique what they're talking about.
That would be amazing. Now, after saying all of that, man, again, I want to preface this by saying that this video is wild speculation at this point. Maybe not even wild. Maybe just speculation is the appropriate term to say. I have no evidence that, TD Jakes is, out there coercing male night walkers into doing anything. But
I don't claim to know anything about this man, let alone who he bangs.
But this is wild, man. It's wild.
Matt says, did you guys by any chance see Ian Carroll's video on this? It was crazy. I haven't seen it yet. He is a charismatic preacher, says Rogue Radio.
Yes. Yeah.
Joel Osteen looks like a wooden marionette puppet. He does. He does have like a stuck smile. Like even when he's not smiling, he's smiling.
Right.
And then finally, Matt says, preach, Pastor Steve.
And listen, I'll put my Cash App up on the screen because the Lord wants you to give generously to my endeavors.
Oh God, it starts.
Can we get the Cash App up on the screen?
Speculated about the dynamics between Diddy and Bishop Jakes. Was it merely a business arrangement, or did their connection run deeper? Some whispered about hidden agendas and secret alliances, while others dismissed the rumors as mere gossip. But one thing was certain: the bond between Diddy and Bishop Jakes was undeniably strange, shrouded in mystery and intrigue.
Hey, Bishop Jakes, how are you,
man?
Why does he always look like he's crying?
Wait, real quick. Who is he a bishop? In what church is he a bishop?
Okay, so now you're going to do this to me, right? The term bishop or apostle is so frivolously given out and used. Now, I do believe at one point TD Jakes might have been a part of the Southern Baptist Convention. Right. That does not mean that that's 100%. I think he professed to be a Baptist.
But anyone who calls themselves a bishop without actually earning that title is a shady motherfucker.
Here's the thing about this, man. If you need any evidence of how shady he is, go look at him giving spiritual birth by way of the Holy Spirit. Yep, you heard me right. He had what is this guy's name? Makes the Medea movies. Tyler Perry guest speaking, and this is another wild thing that people do in these mega churches. Guest speakers who aren't people of the cloth or aren't confirmed Christians. He came up and invoked the Holy Spirit, which is the one sin that you cannot be potentially forgiven for, depending on how you interpret Scripture, and profess to be giving a spiritual birth. This is on YouTube. And there's a woman on the stage with him. Push that spiritual baby out. Yeah.
No. Are you serious?
Okay, next video queued up. Go ahead.
No. We are not watching that on the show. Like I said, we need to do that on other podcasts. But okay. And now that I'm sickened, let's go. I'm more sickened by what you just said than P. Diddy banging TD Jakes. So
all right, so he's
not to see you. How you doing? Looks like you're out in the sun.
Now, as the scandal surrounding Diddy's mansion unfolds, the spotlight shifts to Bishop Jakes, casting a shadow of suspicion over his involvement. While the initial focus was on Diddy's alleged misdeeds, whispers of Bishop Jakes' role in the unfolding drama have begun to surface. Could there be more to their relationship than meets the eye? And what secrets lie hidden beneath the surface of Bishop Jakes' charismatic facade? The TD Jakes controversy took a dark turn in November 2023 when explosive allegations emerged, sending shockwaves through both religious and celebrity circles. What initially seemed like mere rumors gained credibility when Kessie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, came forward with damning evidence. It was a revelation that shook the very foundation of the respected pastor's reputation.
Okay, so allegedly, Kessie has turned over evidence to the feds. Yes. To the Fed.
An anonymous individual dropped a bombshell revelation in a TikTok video, linking the pastor to a notorious group and igniting a firestorm of controversy. According to an anonymous man who surfaced in another video, at Diddy's parties, Bishop Jakes was a...
So, as you can see, Cassie, she's a beautiful woman. No one can deny that. Objectively, she's a beautiful woman. She apparently sparked up a relationship with Kid Cudi from Cleveland, Ohio rapper. And one of the things that is being alleged, and I'm not sure if this is on the docket of what he's being brought to trial for, someone firebombed Kid Cudi's car after Puffy threatened to Cassie allegedly that this was going to happen. And Kid Cudi's car, in fact, exploded. This is not internet rumor shit. This is something that actually happened. Yes. That's how far Diddy was on that gangster shit.
And you know what's so funny? Like I said, in the 90s, I thought he was a clown.
I always knew he was a clown, but it's always those laughing MFers that are really, yeah.
And so, let's talk real quick about what you're talking about with what's his face, the guy being charged for Tupac's murder.
Oh, yeah, TPD.
So he had alleged that Puffy came into a room full of murderers and cutthroats.
Yeah.
And had a duffel bag with $1 million in it and said, you bring me the head of Tupac. This is yours.
Right.
You believe it?
I'll talk about most things and I'll get into most politically charged things, but when it comes to street shit, I'm going to use careful words. And I'm going to make sure that I omit certain details. So what actually happened was they're accusing Puffy of showing up to a room full of Southside Crips from California to Vegas, of which Keefe D is alleged to be a top dog, right? It was actually his nephew, not Orlando Bloom, forget the guy's name, who is now deceased, that Diddy showed up and offered this money up. Now, there are a few different urban legends on what this was actually for. Some people allege that the money was for protection for Biggie and himself as they were touring through California, and they paid off some Crips, which leads to the spider web of did the Crips kill Biggie because of a botched deal. Keefe D, who signed a proffer agreement and for years has been spending his time on the internet snitching on himself, has told this story multiple times, and this is the guy who's the uncle of who you see Tupac
Orlando
throttling in that Vegas club that day, right? So let me say this with respect. Do I know it happened? No, of course not. I can't prove anything. But you got the guy who's on trial saying that this is what happened, and he was saying it before he was on trial. Now, it could be him just trying to soft snitch and lessen his own crime, but there might be something to this, Mantis. I don't know. I know a little something about the streets, and when this type of information leaks out, it's either one of two things, right? Someone's trying to get off their own charges, or they're trying to build a name. I'm going to assume Keefe D at this point and his life is trying to get off some charges, but there could be validity to this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And honestly, he probably doesn't have many cards to play, and so he's probably going to embellish the few that he has.
Not only does he not have many cards to play, he couldn't afford a high power attorney, right? He had to get a public defender. So Streets is watching right now, though, man. And like, here's the thing about this, man. Epstein just had to worry about gangsters of a certain ilk, and that's what I'm going to refer to them as, dark rooms, cloaks, pictures of goats, that type of shit.
Pictures of goats.
Diddy has to worry about those same things if he was providing services to high power people in high power places, but he was also providing services to people in low power places as well. And yeah, I'm talking about gangbangers and shit like that. So he could get got either way. Do you see what I'm saying here, man? Like, I really am not worried about his safety, but I don't suspect that we're going to find out a bunch of answers. I think something bad is going to happen here.
I can't wait to see it play out. Like I said, whether he's murdered in prison or self-harm, or we actually go through this trial and we get to see all the celebrities that Diddy has banged. I want front row seats, man. This is gonna be fun.
Let me ask you a question, man. You seem to be really uncomfortable with the TD Jakes stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it back up.
What's the listening audience have to say, man? This is a wild tie-in, but that's where we stand at this moment with this whole Puffy thing, man. So
See,
again,
here's the thing. I didn't know much about TD Jakes. I just knew that he was a pastor and that he does guest speaking roles and stuff like that. And so when the person on our thing was like, and Puffy banged him, here's the audio. That's as shocking as it gets, right?
It's wildly shocking. It's wildly shocking. All right. Here's something that I'm trying to understand, man. If you are at the root of this much evil, do you not have a kill switch? Like, this seems like the type, famously in the movie, the remake of Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson, you remember the scene where Samuel L. Jackson is talking about Peoples? And he's like, Peoples put a hit out on someone. And he's like, look, I know people that wipe out an entire zip code for $10,000.
Right.
I'm not condoning violence in any way, shape, or form. But if Puffy's out here doing this much dirt, wouldn't there be more bodies piled up anyway? Like, this is the type of stuff that it's just like, well, obviously I gotta.
So no. Here's the thing. Because he's gotten so rich and so famous, he has graduated to he's pretty much the equivalent of a white collar criminal. He's a white collar sinner. Right. Who's protected by his money and his fame. Other people protect him. Here's what it is. That's pretty much what celebrities in Hollywood are doing. They're worshiping Satan. They're idolaters, and they are guilty of the worst sexual sins that corrupt others.
Right.
And so he's become part of this whole celebrity thing. Sure, he's the black side. There's black Twitter. Well, there's black satanic Hollywood. And there he is, right? But it won't be as high profile as, let me say, poorer gangsters or poorer sinners who are killing people, right? So
do you know where the temple of the Black Satanist church is? Because I can tell you if you don't know.
I don't.
You've probably seen advertisements for it. It's become a meme as of late to make fun of their content. I'm convinced that Tubi is the center of the Black Satanic church.
Wait. You're telling me that free app that lets you watch, low quality television for free.
Yes.
Is the center of the Black satanic temple.
If you think about it for a second, Satan is all about free content, right? He wants it out there.
He said cotton.
Satan is all about free content, man. He wants it out there. He wants it easy. He wants it clickable. And if you just look at some of the stuff that's on Tubi, though poorly shot, it is dark and disgusting, man. I'm telling you that
the app is disgusting. I've been on the app. It's really gross. It's a gross ass app. But you're saying it's the center of the Black Satanic Temple.
Listen, man. You heard it from Mantis first. I didn't say anything. Mantis said it, and he said it 3 times. So when your cable shuts off, your Wi-Fi stops working.
Sensi Star in the house. What up, brother? We were just finishing our conversation about P. Diddy and his satanic lifestyle of banging, well, pretty much everything that moves. And the charges coming up upon him. And I was saying that his trial is going to be amazing if he lives that long.
I got to turn the light on that one. I actually kind of spooked myself.
You're worried that Satan is watching or something.
I'm worried Tubi is watching.
I'm sorry to be so religious on this one, but like honestly, I think that he is another example of just satanic corruption in Hollywood, in the money scene, in people who have it. And so he's graduated from making bodies. He's graduated from killing people, and now he's just banging everybody, corrupting everybody. Sexual sin is particularly infectious amongst people.
Yeah,
right.
Hedonism. Yeah,
and so it has clearly taken hold of his mind, and it's taken hold of his victims' minds too. That's what's really fucked up about it.
Yeah, man. It's my old pastor used to say it's pervasive. Speaking of sexual sin, let's talk about Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Explained. Yo, I have not seen a bodying like this since R.I.P. Murder Inc. Star Wars Theory, and I warned you about trying to give him that work on the fucking mic, man. I'm like, this guy, I feel as if though if he comes at you, he's gonna come at you hard. And he came at Star Wars Explained hard. And I'll let you get into the backstory of this if you'd like, but go ahead.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, fairly recently, I turned my back on Star Wars Theory, and I was like, he's the problem, right? I was like, he's the toxic one. He's the problem. And so before we get into all this other stuff, I just want to explain my situation. At first, it was that people were dissing him, including Walt Disney themselves. Lucasfilm, so like people who work in the industry, executives, high-powered people were dissing this kid. And I looked at him and I said, this poor kid, this poor Canadian nerd who may or may not be my illegitimate son. Poor kid is getting harassed by these guys. He's just a Star Wars loving nerd. He doesn't hurt anyone. Here's the problem.
Right.
Everywhere he goes, there's drama. Every time that Disney releases something, he creates some sort of crazy drama, and he always pretends to be the victim. His old buddy, Nerd Theory, which he used to do a stream with, it was Denim Nerds. I'm sorry, Denim Nerds. They used to do a joint stream called Nerd Theory. Denim Nerds not only backed out of that, but when he was asked in a live stream the other day, people were like, you heard what's happening in Star Wars Theory, your best buddy? He's like, we're not best friends anymore. I really don't like hang out with him anymore. He's like, I have no problem with him. We just don't really talk. And so that indicates a problem. And so everywhere he goes, everywhere Star Wars Theory goes, there is beef. He creates beef and then pretends that he's innocent. And so what does this motherfucker do? In my opinion, it was random and out of the blue. However, he claims that he was forced to make this video. So Star Wars Theory makes a video destroying Star Wars Explained. And so before we actually show any video on that, Star Wars Theory is, I think he's engaged, but he's kind of like, he's a guy who works out, he's bald, he kind of lives by himself. He's the top dog of Star Wars streamer. He's the king of them all. He has it all.
Right.
And Star Wars Explained is certainly popular and has a lot of fans, but he's not as big, not nearly as big. And so that is him and his wife. And so it's a guy named Alex. It's a nerdy guy named Alex and his wife, Molly Damon. Wait, hold on. Let's real quick. Den of Nerds is a little bit Shazmat. And so that's my take too. I'm not a fan of that person either because of the things he says and all that stuff. Shaolin Iceboxer says Stupendous Wave is one of the better Star Wars YouTube channels. Straight analysis, no BS, no opinions. I love it. I agree. Star Wars Explained deserved everything they got. I don't feel bad for them at all. And so, here's what I'm going to say. We're about to watch a video, but I will say this. The person who shows the receipts is the bad guy, in my opinion.
Oh, now that's an interesting take. Okay.
You know why?
Why?
If me and you are in a private conversation, if you're really my boy or you're really like interested in like being a good person, you're not going to take what I emailed you or what we DM'd each other and go show it to people, let alone people like make a YouTube video about it.
So let me, in response to that, right? If someone's trying to destroy your livelihood and your reputation in a Cold War attack to get your channel demonetized, at what point do you show receipts?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. Here's what I'm saying. I don't want to say it's been proven because one of these things are like very hard to be proven. But he's gonna accuse in the video we're about to see. He's gonna accuse the wife of Star Wars Explained, Molly, to be the source of this demonetized campaign that's going against Nerdrotic, Ryan Kinnell, and Star Wars Theory because they hate everything Disney Star Wars comes out, and they seem like racist, and they're like, let's demonetize them. Fuck these guys. I don't believe she's the source.
Okay, before we go any deeper, you do are you aware that Star Wars Theory did a stream where he showed the actual claim, and it was rejected.
I've watched it. I've watched all the videos. I know absolutely everything. And so here's what it is. It's a different girl started it. Here's what it is. Molly shared the let's demonetize this motherfucker, and I admit, not cool. But here's the point. There is a difference between sharing and starting. All right.
Let me just see if I can digest this for a second, right? So, given their history, given the awkward conversations they've had, given the public retorts of him that Star Wars Explained had, your premise is that even if your wife shares something, in spite of all the bad history, my response should be what exactly? Because I hear what you're saying. What should the response be?
So here's your response. Shit talk, denouncements, attacks, showing receipts. No. An honorable man does not show receipts. You know how many of you, and that's right, I'm talking to my fans and my co-host, I could destroy by showing receipts? Yo, me and Steve and Shaolin are in a joint thing. The things we say in there will get us arrested.
Actually, I'm quite responsible with things.
Oh no, I got you. I got screenshots, bro. I got screenshots.
I've never
in case you ever cross me. But what I'm saying is, people talk shit in their things. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to show receipts?
But it's different. I think all bets might be off once you start attacking someone's livelihood.
I feel you. That is grimy. Star Wars Theory had to deal with copious amounts of death threats and all. Well, here's what it is. His channel is responsible for all sorts of death threats, including death threats on the people who run Wikipedia. Yeah, man. Facts. It was Star Wars. It was Star Wars Theory fans who were enraged that they changed Ki Adi Mundi's birth date on Wikipedia, who gave death threats to the nerds who run Wikipedia. The poor nerds who run a Star Wars wiki. Let me say that again. Their lives are dedicated to running a Star Wars wiki. How pathetic must your life be if that's why you wake up in the morning, right? They gave them death threats.
Wait, okay, Mantis, I get what you're saying. I think there might be some bias going on here, right? And I'm not switching into therapist voice, even though I'm leaning back and I've
Yeah, you're doing it. Let's hear more. Let's hear more of your. He's like, I'm just a logical, unbiased man. Let's hear this shit. Let's hear it.
I'm trying to understand. So you're suggesting that there are rules of engagement, which I respect you for.
There are rules of engagement amongst YouTubers and content creators. Yes, there are.
And one of the cardinal rules is you do not use YouTube as a weapon to demonetize, nor should you join groups to have channels demonetized.
So all Molly did was share the demonetized thing on her Twitter.
Okay. How many fans?
Not the same thing as making content. About
how many followers does she have on Twitter?
She's got a shitload. You know.
Okay. Let me just say something to you here, man. Do you know what happens when you go to another hood and you're standing next to the guy who spray paints your hood on that person's neighborhood?
Your mother dies.
You're gonna get shot too. I can't argue intent, right? Because I won't allow myself to be backed into that fallacy of an argument. But I can argue result. If I've got millions or even hundreds of thousands of followers and I share something without implicit context of my intent and leave it to interpretation, that can be considered an act of war, especially if you don't come out and clear that shit up afterwards.
So here's what I'm saying. I also believe that trying to get someone demonetized, a fellow YouTuber, that's some low shit. and you know what? They're not innocent. I'm not trying to say they're heroes in this. They're not heroes in this.
We're just reporting. We're just reporting on what's been reported.
And you know, if you think somebody isn't doing as good a job on YouTube as you are, your whole thing is here's what it is. You got to be competitive and up your game. Not try to talk shit behind them, get them demonetized. It's all poor form, especially since out of all the people they named, so I'll say this about Star Wars Theory: that man is not a racist. He's just a hardcore Star Wars fan.
No, I mean, obviously, I can't see the depths of his soul or anything like that. But I would say that based on his track record on YouTube, he may take the canonical stance of Star Wars a bit too seriously. Right. But given his attachment to it, I can see why he does. I will say this though, he did.
I understand that too. I understand that part too. My man doesn't like you fucking with the canon of Anakin being created by the Force. I dig that. I get it. But I will say, out of all the people they listed, he is the least likely to be racially motivated for not liking the Acolyte,
which makes him the most likely to have the darkest secrets. Right? We find out he's been strangling Haitian babies this entire time. He's the one that started the rumor.
He's the one eating the cats. He's the one. Just like my son, and it's my son, so I have to clean this shit up. My sin has come back to get me.
Here's the crazy thing about this whole thing, man. Why don't you just meet up and throw hands? But I'm interested to see this video. I'm interested to see. Wouldn't that be great? Just meet up and throw hands.
I agree. That's the better way to do it. And so it's so funny. I was at a dinner the other night, and this young guy was going on about how stupid and cowardly it is to be a school shooter. And I was like, yo, kid, you ever seen Friday? And of course he was young, so he didn't fucking know what Friday was. Like, you know, right? And I was just like, hey, yo, it's like the speech with the dad, right? Remember when the dad finds the gun? Yeah, and the dad's just like, he's like, the only reason kids carry guns nowadays is they're too scared to get their asses kicked. Yeah. He's like, back in my day, he's like, you have it out, fist of cups, win or lose, it was squashed, but you live to fight another day. Yeah. And now these cowards are scared. And I agree. That's how it should be. Yo, if someone tries to get me demonetized, I'm meeting them at their house.
Traveling across state lines.
I'll travel across state lines. And, you know, I'm saying, don't use a firearm. You know, you're using fists. But, yo, I'll settle it. I'll settle this.
I once talked a friend out of traveling across state lines to settle a beef by mirroring it back to him. I was like, allow me to mirror back to what you just said. Someone has wronged you, and they are in another state. And your idea now is to charter a jet or, you know, book a flight to meet them and handle the situation. And he's like, yeah. I was like, now let me explain that in Leganese. What that's going to present in the courtroom as is the intent was set for bodily harm. And not only did he have intent, he followed with an action plan and traveled across state lines to commit this crime. If you ever in need of some jailhouse lawyering, your boy Steve has got you. I'll mirror it back to you.
As I was saying, in a perfect world, the loser would also honorably take his loss and not call the feds.
Take that ass whooping. Take
the ass whooping. Real quick.
Not to be confused with TD Jenks and Diddy's situation. We're not talking about
destroying one's ass. Which it sounds like Diddy was tearing that up, by the way. Star Wars Explained praised the firing of Gina Carano, and they deserve. I agree. Here's what I'm saying. Here's why I'm actually not a Star Wars Explained guy. I don't subscribe to him, and here's why. He was pro the firing of Gina Carano, and then he was also. He loves The Last Jedi and thinks it's like innovative and it brought Star Wars to a new level.
Oh yeah, that's an idiotic take and it's subjective. You know what's crazy about this whole thing, man? What's crazy is, all right, you know, play the video because I was about to assume something, but I have been peeping some nerdrotic stuff, and I have an issue not with nerdrotic, but there's one guy that I have an issue with, and I think if he got rolled up on, his best chance is to pull a gun because I've seen him physically I've seen his physical status via video on the internet, and it was in regards to a joke he made about George Floyd, which, hey, you can make jokes about whatever you want.
I know you're talking about.
But I almost wish that there was a Pookie there. You know, some brother that just wasn't in the mood that day and decided, like, let me respond to this. That was a smooth transition, man. You must be. Well, yeah, you're getting better at this. Here we go.
I'm keeping it real, yo. I'm keeping it super real. Let's see what my son has to say.
Just such a sackless guy that he just can't do it himself, and he has to have his wife do it for him. People aren't watching your stuff, even with all of the free press and extra stuff that Lucasfilm and Disney give you. I mean, maybe that should tell you something. Maybe people just don't like you, and that's a you problem. Take accountability. Is it about This Week in Clickbait? Is it about Alex not being able to sleep at night and you having to freaking coddle him so that he could sleep?
Wait, hold on. Do you know about This Week in Clickbait?
No.
They made a podcast. Here's what I'm saying. This does not look great for my theory or me protecting Explain. They made a podcast This Week in Clickbait, but every week, one of the clickbaiters they always cited was him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they would say that he would put fake titles up to talk shit or whatever, and so they were trolling his ass for a while, you know.
Yeah, they were poking the bear, and yeah.
But I do wish they'd fight. I do wish they would fight. That would be a better.
Well, I mean, any man that's brave enough to dress up as Princess Leia and lay on the ground and the you know.
Yeah, he does these sketches where he dresses up like Star Wars characters. You know what? I am a little hard on Star Wars theory. I do think he's dramatic, and I think he brings the drama. You know, he's like a Cancer or something, but I assume. But like, we don't need the drama, homeboy. I just want the Star Wars analysis. But let's see what he's got.
Because another channel was putting out content that was getting more views.
15% off sale is now officially live. Go to TheorySabers.com right now.
That's funny that it kicked in right there.
Lumped me in with some of my colleagues and friends online to have our channels demonetized and essentially sending a letter to YouTube to abolish, destroy, end the channels. This was written by Molly Damon. She is the wife and co-partner of Star Wars Explained, of Alex Damon. I've met Star Wars Explained in person several times. I've met his wife.
You could
Molly
definitely take
times. Let's get to it. You know, no name calling, no anger, no nothing. Just judging things very
objectively. RK Outpost. Yeah, he's like lanky.
Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. Many of the comments found in Geeks and Gamers videos can be seen in hateful comments under trans now deleted Instagram posts. Okay, so in court, if this were to go to court, they would have to prove that it was indeed all of Geeks and Gamers posts that motivated a ton of people to throw hate and vitriol, and to get that kind of information is going to be pretty difficult because it's not like Geeks and Gamers was the only channel that was saying that Rose Tico was a horrible character. There were just a lot of people that just weren't happy when they were like, man, that movie sucked.
Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
RK Outpost has recently referred to Ingram's Kenobi character Reva as dumb and retarded. Okay, again, there's no issue there. You can call a character whatever you want. I mean, it's a fictitious character. That's his opinion of the character. That was a fictional character that was written. These channels have gaslit Amandla by claiming she's playing the victim card. Okay, but that's their opinion. They can say that. They don't have to agree with her. With RK Outpost proclaiming, you've never been oppressed in your goddamn life, you bitch. I mean, shit. Just seems like they got a problem with Ryan. I mean, Ryan's angsty, bro. There's a lot of shit that Ryan says that I don't know.
Okay, yo. I'm going to chime in super quick. So, Amandla Stenberg, I found out that is like a rich upper class girl who's raised overseas. So she didn't even suffer the systemic racism that blacks suffer from. So I kind of feel what they're saying.
And some completely lowbrow commentary here. Star Wars Explained's wife, they seem to be mismatched. She's definitely got an ulterior motive, in my opinion. I feel as if though this was an agreement made between two people in regards to a relationship. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. So she is way hotter than him. She's the settler. He's the reacher. As they say.
or they were friends, right, and decided to will and grace it.
Oh, you think they will and grace it?
Yeah.
Whoa! I don't even want to touch that one. They might sue us or have us demonetized or something.
I think it's a little over the top, but to be honest, you get Ryan drunk and he's like this soft, sweet little guy.
Ryan is a pussy compared to most older American men. Well, one, I'm sure you're very experienced with older American men, Kev, because I imagine they fuck you in the
Hey. The hate campaign against Amandla has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined the attacks on Amandla, including Star Wars Theory, 3.3 million subscribers, 3.33 million.
Yeah, that's how many he has.
Molly. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if this behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussion?
Guys, I have to say something, and here's what it is. I think I should be praised for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Based on everything you said, Steve, and everything Matt said, and just rewatching this, I think I've changed my mind. Because now, you know what? As he's reading that, I do realize that I said, you know what? Their plan was probably to have him demonetized so that they would become the top Star Wars streamers, and they are pissed that he has 3.3 million.
Yeah. So here's the thing, man. She's only got 33K on X. Here's the thing, right? I do agree with you. Someone makes, I agree with you. Someone makes an asinine point. I think you should retort and reply to what they said, right? And rebuke their point with not only your opinion, but facts and counter data and that whole thing. And we all have a good time on the internet. But to go after someone's livelihood, get them demonetized, that type of stuff, man. Now, if he was out here saying some egregious stuff and YouTube did nothing about it, then that would just show the inconsistency on YouTube's part. But to a coordinated attack, to be honest with you, man, I wouldn't even lump Star Wars Theory in with some of the people that are on this list. Why are you gay?
Yeah, why are you gay? No, I agree with you. Here's what it is. He's friends with all of them, and he sometimes appears on their shows, but he is not the same thing as Nerdotic. Nerdotic says some wild shit. Ryan Kinnell says some wild shit.
Absolutely.
Star Wars Theory does not actually say wild shit. He just is very defensive of the brand he loves so much.
And then here's the thing, man. You kind of pushed him into the corner of these people, man. Like him and Tyron Magnus, man. I think that they're just like, we can't accuse everything of being racist. Some things are just objectively bad, as we'll get into with Agatha Hart, which is getting fairly decent reviews.
You're a sellout. Son of a bitch. Matt says, still not a fan of RK. So here's what it is. I'll tell you this. I used to be subscribed to Nerdrotic and RK Outpost and Geeks and Gamers. And you know what it was? With Geeks and Gamers, it was the Trump worship I had to bail from. Yeah. And for those who don't know, yes, I do publicly say I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for him as the lesser of two evils. I'd rather his economic policies reign and his anti-abortion stuff reign rather than what the opponents are saying. And so that's why I don't worship Trump. And so that was disgusting to me. But in terms of Nerdrotic and Ryan Kinnell, they are too negative. And I'm okay with an occasional negative thing, but if your every video is just coming off from a negative point of view, shitting on people hardcore, everything sucks, everyone's stupid, everyone thinks idiotic, I can't do it.
Y'all, Grace liked Agatha All Along. Not a surprise.
And that's just a clear indication that you need to bail. By the way, did you see that Grace, just this last movie math, she finally admitted, she's like, you know what? I think Alien Romulus is starting to turn around. I guess it is all right. You know why? Because it keeps making money.
Yeah.
So she finally had to admit, after all these weeks, she's been so steadfast. She suggested that Disney sell the Alien franchise.
Yo, you know what's crazy, man? This is completely off topic, man, but it just brought me back to Gina Carano. She was the only one not to make it in Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's sad. I would have loved to see her character come back. But in regards to this whole thing, man, with Star Wars theory, though, man, at what point, though, all right, here's my deal. At what point are dissenting voices or, dissenting opinions allowed to exist in the same space? Now, if these guys were leading an actual targeted hate campaign against Amanda Stenberg, if there are consequences for that, they should face the consequences. Like, if there's someone explicitly where YouTube says you cannot have an opinion on this, and you choose to stand on business, you're gonna experience some consequences. I don't condone that, by the way, but this shit takes it a little bit too far. And here's the weird part, man: if your wife is the mouthpiece for this movement, that puts me in a very precarious place as a guy. But I still have resolution. You are accountable for the words of your messenger. And if your messenger is your wife, though I can do nothing to her, everything she says, like we learned from the Way of the Gun movie, someone's got to answer for, right? Your woman's getting out of line. You are the one that has to handle this business.
Now, I speak as a man who is unmarried. Right. But if my woman was mouthing off on the internet without my permission, I'd be like, cool it the fuck out, chick. Yeah. Go make me a sandwich. I will handle this internet shit. Because you know what I'm saying? So Molly claims she just shared it. She said she didn't create it.
Right.
But you know what it is? It is opening my eyes, and I'm like saying, even that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I would not share a demonetized letter about a rival YouTube channel. No way. That's so fucking tacky.
In fact, why not just have a public debate? Now, I am interested in this Den of Nerds thing, man. So he said they're not friends anymore and they don't speak anymore.
And he doesn't go into details, but he was just asked about it, and he was just like, yeah. And so some people have put up like a video. They showed a clip of their last live stream where they were bickering, but it doesn't show anything that serious. They are bickering, though. They are getting annoyed at each other. Yeah. I don't know.
I never thought it was a great live stream to begin with, man. It felt more thirsty on the side. Never mind. Let me not say what I was about to say. It just felt thirsty on one side, and more particular, like one person did not require the other person to be there. And that person, I remember when it came into inception, and it was just like, man, we should definitely create a podcast. I was like, you two should definitely not create a podcast, man. There's some shit we need on the internet. There's other shit where it's just like, yo, man, you both already handle this. We don't need you both saying it.
Right. We don't need you both here going on and on. So look at these receipts.
In only a couple months is crazy good. So you're obviously doing something right. If you're open to it, I'd love to talk about some of the things you found to work, and I will do my best to help you in return. But if that's something you'd like to keep close to your chest, I understand. Anyways, it's nice to meet you. Keep up the great work, and may the force be with you. October 6th, 12:10 p.m. I respond the same day, literally when I just woke up, because I would work all throughout the night. I'd sleep probably around 7 a.m., and then I'd get like a few hours of sleep, and I'd wake up, and I'd get right back to writing videos. No eating, no gym, just freaking no dating. I just... 1 million subs in a year. Anyway, so hey, Alex, thanks for reaching out. For sure, ask away. If you want to chat through email, here's fine, or we can chat through Facebook or whatever, either works. It says, hey, saw your tweet. Sorry I missed it for a couple days. Thanks for getting back to me. Chatting through email's fine. All right, so cool. No worries, man. My name is Neatus, by the way, but my friends call me Toos for short, or Nia. It says, so you're inquiring about the ad. I only started advertising through my network last Wednesday, and I haven't really seen any benefit to it thus far, so I may cancel it. What I've done is essentially just dedicate my days to make...
Wait, hold on. Is Star Wars Theory's real name Neatos? Like, what did he just say?
That's a great name.
What did he just say? Like, oh. Okay. Whoa. What is happening?
Just freaking no dating. I just... 1 million subs in a year. Anyway, so hey, Alex, thanks for reaching out. For sure, ask away. If you want to chat through email, here's fine, or we can chat through Facebook or whatever, either works. It says, hey, saw your tweet. Sorry I missed it for a couple days. Thanks for getting back to me. Chatting through email's fine. All right, so cool. No worries, man. My name is Neatus, by the way, but my friends call me Toos for short, or Nia. It says, so you're inquiring about the ad. I only started advertising through my network last Wednesday, and I haven't really seen any benefit to it thus far, so I may...
Yeah, is he a refugee from Naboo?
I think he's Greek. Wait, but yo, there's another wrinkle to this, man. So he did a video the other day that was really interesting. You know, he has the Vader series, which I'm looking forward to, right? The next inception of it. And the video has, per his agreement with Disney, is not monetized on the channel, but apparently it's running ads now. And it's like, it almost seems like there is a conspiracy to get him out of here, man. Like, if there were no ads and the agreement with Disney is that it can't be monetized, can YouTube put ads on your video without your consent and monetize?
Yes. Before we were monetized, we video
monetized.
No, I'm saying like mine and yours personal channels. Mine and yours personal channels. I would watch my own videos from other accounts and see commercials on them and be like, but I'm not monetized. They're gonna put commercials on everything. So yes, I just looked it up. Homeboy's name is Neatos. Okay, cool.
He's Greek, right?
Yeah, he's Greek. The story gets weirder, right? It gets weirder, right? And so,
why is that weird?
I don't even know what to say, but like, here he is. He's breaking down the the evolution of their rivalry and using receipts. I think that is not honorable.
What it is tedious, but man, it's crazy that, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? But this is what happens when you poke the bear. Oh man, Neatos the Bay.
The Bay, yeah. Yo, Matt says, yeah, I don't fuck with people with weird names. Yeah, no, I don't either. That's bizarre. No offense to foreigners, Greeks, whatever, great people. You know, you translated the Bible. Thank you. Yeah, it's bullshit. YouTube can make money off your content and not pay you for it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
man. It's
absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. We don't have to go through the entire video with him bringing the receipts. You know, do that on your own time, man. There is something I do want to talk to you about, and it has nothing to do with Star Wars, thankfully, man. It has to do with the fuckery of Sony, because I realize we're at 1 hour and 32 minutes, and I really want to talk about this, man. So, you know, I really enjoyed the King in Black story arc in Marvel.
This. And by the way, we are going to talk about this, but I got to say, we will at some point, we have to talk about Laura Loomer before the episode ends.
Oh, actually, you want to go there first?
Well, you already brought, let's do the King in Black.
So the King in Black storyline is a great storyline, man. They gave us the revised version origin story of the symbiotes, right? And no, the King in Black is the creator of the symbiotes, right? When you read the story, the amazing story of Gore the God Butcher, and he using the sword, the Necro sword, before it was named, he got it from a nameless god that fell to earth, dying, fighting another god. And it turns out that nameless god in dark was Null, right? And then, you know, a whole bunch of shit happens. Null wants his sword back, gets his sword back. You know, it's amazing. It's an amazing arc. And like so many things in comics, they had a really long time to build this story, right? And then it came to an epic conclusion where Venom becomes the new King in Black, where Eddie Brock becomes the new King in Black, and he does something amazing in the comics, man. Something that's never been done before. And I can say this has never been done before. He summoned Thor's hammer and the Silver Surfer's board away from them and created one weapon with it. I've seen people pick up Thor's his hammer before.
Wait, how did he do that?
He had the Captain Universe power. What is this thing? The Enigma Force. He combined with the Enigma Force.
And that cheesy ass shit, but every character has had it at one point. Spider-Man had it once. It was like crazy.
But it was a great story, man. It was a great story. It had its weird points, but no, the King in Black is allegedly the villain in the new Venom movie, Venom: The Last Dance. And again, we got Sony deciding to take something and make their own version of it. But Donny Cates, is that his name? Donny Cates? Is that the creator of No?
Okay.
Has come out and said some things that look kind of favorable in regards to the story. I'm going to call it early, right? And this is my theory. So at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, we see that the Venom symbiote leaves a little piece of itself behind.
A little baby, and it gives birth. Typically in the comics, that's what it means when they drop a little.
Yeah, when they drop a little, little happy little fireman time. So what do we have in the main 616 quote unquote MCU universe, right? We had Gore the God Butcher who had the Necro sword, right? So now we got Null existing in the parallel universe. We have a symbiote existing in the 616 universe. I think if they're smart, what this is going to be, and it's going to anger you because it's going to prove my thing about Doctor Doom being misused in the story arc, right?
I'm not pro Doctor. Their plans for Doctor Doom. What are you talking about?
I know that's what I'm saying. It's going to anger you. This is going to anger you because it's going to be more fuckery, man. What I think they're going to do here, man, is Null is going to present himself in this movie, and he's looking for his sword, which he left in another universe, and he's going to find out about the sword because of the symbiote that's in the 616 universe.
Right, because he has telepathy with all the symbiotes.
Yes. So I'm calling it early, man. I am taking my middle son to go see this movie because he's a huge Venom fan. I was actually watching Demon Slayer with him today. Very odd that the things he gets into. He just sat down and he just started watching.
I love Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is my jam. People are critical of the Mantis because they're like, you don't like anime. I'm like, I only like particular animes. And I'll say Demon Slayer is one of them.
It doesn't mean that if your shit's obscure and you and 4 other people watching it, doesn't mean it's dope. It just means you and 4 other people agree that it's good. But what do you think about my theory about Null and Venom and all of it?
So I think it is very possible. I think it's so there's supposedly a theory that this movie is going to lead into the next Spider-Man and that Tom Hardy's going to fight him in Spider-Man 4. I don't know about it. They promised us mad times they were going to fight, right? But all we know is that they opened the door to the idea that Tom Hardy's Venom has something to do with our MCU.
Right.
They made him teleport there. They made him have a baby there. Right? And so we're not assholes for thinking or demanding that happen.
Right.
But we are long overdue for a Spider-Man Venom. So here's what I'm saying. I think they obviously fucked up with we all know they fucked up with the Venom series because it's not a very good series. But here's what it is. I can understand doing like one movie without Spider-Man. Honestly, Spider-Man Venom 2 should have been Spider-Man versus Venom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then they don't do that. And then you're like, the third one, they're going to do it. They don't do that. He's going to, Baron Mordo and friggin' Null is in it. Okay. Okay. That's fine. But at least they've introduced him to the MCU. But at some point, he needs to fight Spider-Man.
So I watched the video. I agree with that 100%. I watched the video today that talked about why Eddie Brock was in that movie, and it was for preparation if they couldn't get Garfield and Maguire in the movie, that they had something. But it's weird. So let me send you a video and we can watch this with the fans, and then we'll definitely get into the 2 women competing for Trump's heart. And social standing with Trump.
I actually put that in our description too. I was like, "Here's Trump's new girlfriend." Shaolin Icebreaker says, "Steve, you're giving them too much credit," and so
I always do.
But actually, here's the whole thing. Here's the problem with superhero movies in general. I'll tell you this, and it's not the things you think I'm going to say. People are going to say cliche things all the time. The truth is that all the things the fans want, they could easily give us. They're just not smart enough to do it. We want to see Venom fight Spider-Man. That wouldn't have been hard. Friggin' given to us. We want to see Hawkeye wear his comics accurate outfit. How hard would that have been? That would not have been hard. All of X-Men.
We use a very strong word on that one. We use a very strong word on that one. I'm all good with the tiara not being.
Stop calling it a tiara, you son of a bitch! It's a cowl. It's a cowl. Damn it! How hard is this? But honestly,
Said TD Jakes Puffy.
Right? There's like a million things that we want, and so sometimes, a lot of times, it's comic accuracy, and it wouldn't have been hard. Anytime they do something very out of the box and not comic book accurate, I always like, being a writer on my side, I'll do a fanfic. I'll write real quick. I'll be like, they could have done this, this, and this, and it would have been just as easy a movie to give us what we want, as opposed to whatever Kevin Feige's wet dream is, right? And so, it is true. Shaolin's saying too much credit, but the thing is, why doesn't this council of producers not fucking get it? And they probably hire guys who know nothing about comic books, but it's actually, people are like, it's hard to appease these fanboys. It's actually very easy.
Oh,
it's Boba Fett. Boba Fett could have easily just make him a tough guy, and we would have been happy.
Yeah, it's actually not that difficult, because people are looking for a good storyline that's consistent with what they'll take some liberty, some license, and give you license to do some creative stuff. As long as you give them something good, right? If you're going to take a lot of license, it's got to be amazing.
Yes. Yes.
I sent you a video. I think that this person has this really summed up well, and it's good stuff, man, because I don't want to see them butcher this character. Also, Null did something that I thought was OG gangster in the comics, man. Sorry to jump around, but that's how much I love it. He actually, spoiler alert, he did Sentry's finishing move to the Sentry. So Sentry's one of those characters. He's so powerful. When they introduce a new villain, who are you gonna have him son up? He's got to son the Sentry, right? And then
right.
He actually ripped the Sentry in half, and I believe he did that because he was connected to Carnage, and he remembered what Sentry did to Carnage. Famously, the Sentry ripped Carnage in half, which was gangster as fuck. There we go.
Creator.
Of course.
Oh wow! I didn't see this trailer.
No.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Sony and Marvel released the new Venom: The Last Dance trailer with Noel, God of the Symbiotes, in it. Everybody had questions about their plans for such a huge comic book villain, given it's supposed to be the last Venom solo movie that Sony makes. Marvel, over on the MCU side of things, also posted all the Venom: The Last Dance trailers to their own channel, too. Typically, they haven't done that in the past. They only started doing it with, if you can believe it, Madam Web and then the Kraven movie. I'll explain why in a second.
Kraven!
And Donny Cates, one of the creators of the Null character in the comics, recently posted that he's been talking to Sony, and they and Marvel have much larger plans for that character. Based on a lot of what Marvel is doing with the MCU right now, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and a lot of the deleted scenes, alternate storylines we've learned about recently, we actually have a pretty good idea of what those larger plans are, so we'll break it all down. Donny Cates was also reacting to a lot of the casting news for the Null character, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up, particularly Spider-Man related stuff. There's even a Spider-Man TV show that's supposedly going to air later this year. So whenever they wind up releasing that, of course I will do episode videos for it.
It's gonna be a cartoon,
but right
by
after
the
the
way.
Venom: The Last Dance trailer came out last week, Donny Cates, as you would expect, one of the creators of that character, was commenting on getting paid for Sony and Marvel's use of the character in the movies. This happens every time one of the movies at any of the studios, not just Marvel, not just Sony, but like any of the studios, uses characters and storylines based on the comics, which usually is the case. Like, they do their own plot, but they're usually based on specific comic book plots and comic book characters. Most of the time, they get little to no money. So, like, it's a really big controversy that's been going on for a long time. They usually have to find other ways of getting paid for using the character, like cameos, for instance. In a weird way, they get paid more for doing a cameo in the movie for like 2 seconds than they do for them actually using the character itself. Yes, the system is broken. Usually you hear more about this kind of stuff when the creators themselves are still alive and they have their own social media to actually explain what's going on behind the scenes.
Yo, Matt, I actually agree with your statement about Charlie.
Donny Cates was also celebrating the fact that he just had his 40th birthday like 2 days.
So here's my take. Here's what it is. He makes good video. Here's what it is. He makes fine videos. He makes good videos that are informative and all these things. The titles of them are always like crazy. He'll be like, Spider-Man trailer. And I'll be like, a Spider-Man trailer dropped? And I'll click on it. And then what he really means is like a tweet Tom Holland let out.
Right.
And so he is clickbaity. He is very clickbaity. However, he doesn't lie in his videos. He doesn't actually lie.
Unlike another content creator who I'm just like, any day now, Kathleen Kennedy walked out of the building. Dog walked out of Disney.
Yes. Oh, Mike Zero needs to be shot in the head. Oh, wait, I didn't say that.
After they released the trailer, talk about happy birthday, posting all kinds of memes about getting paid extra because Null is going to be a huge live-action crossover villain in the movies that wind up costing hundreds of millions of dollars to make. So naturally, you would expect him to get a little bit of money for.
Yo, do you think they're going to put Null in Secret Wars?
I don't know, man. Actually, someone else did a video speculating on who's going to be in Secret Wars, and it just seems like everyone. And that's why I'm saying the Doctor Doom thing is unnecessary unless it was going to be Doom centered. You know what I'm saying? You get like it's this.
That's why he gets 2 movies. That's why he gets 2 movies about him. But apparently, in one of them, I assume Secret Wars, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be Doomsday. In one of them, he is assembling the Masters of Evil, which really is a Baron Zemo thing. Baron Zemo should be Baron Zemo. Here's what it is: the Masters of Evil eventually are the Thunderbolts, and so that's really Baron Zemo's whole thing. But however, they're going to give it to Doctor Doom. But it's made up of Avengers' worst villains. I wonder if they're going to put Null in there. That would be pretty cool, actually.
What up, Berlin? Berlin says, wasn't Venom passed around from hero to hero, etc. Like doesn't Eddie become anti-Venom at some point?
These plots do happen. I don't think the Venom symbiote was passed around, but I'm saying other people have yielded it. Yeah. So Mac Gargan and Flash Thompson have both wielded the symbiote before.
Flash Thompson is back, by the way. They brought him back by popular demand. Came back after the Null thing.
Well, but here's the problem they have. So does he get his own symbiote?
Yeah, he does. So one of the Null dragons. So there's this thing called not Vortex, some Matrix, something like that. Anyone that's ever been bonded to a symbiote, which is also what makes Null dangerous, a part of them lives on in that symbiote, right? Like a literal part of them. So one of the Null dragons that's commandeered gets sent back with Thompson in it, and that's how they bring back the
Agent Venom.
Agent Venom, and he actually winds up joining the Avengers. Like Captain America asked Eddie Brock to join after Null, and he was like, we see the growth and all this stuff. He's like, I have someone way more well suited to join the Avengers.
I have to say, I used to read Guardians of the Galaxy when Agent Venom was a part of it, and I have to say that was the part of the comic I hated the most. I could not stand Agent Venom just because he's a completely different character with none of the same vibes or energy. Just give him his own symbiote. Don't make him Venom. Don't reference Venom. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me?
The whole story arc of Null was so dope that it only took Marvel a few months after it concluded to completely fuck it up. So then now they're in the Carnage Wars or the Venom Wars or some shit, and I'm just like, this is nonsense. But to your original question, man, who the fuck is the villain of this arc, man? And when can it be over? Are questions I ask myself on a day-to-day basis, man. I'm so ready for the Mutant Saga to start, which apparently Kevin Feige says we're in right now. We are in the Mutant Saga.
Yeah, supposedly. I'm actually reminded of a new Avengers story called Plague of Venoms. And so this was summed up in only like 3 issues or something. And so Doctor Doom clones the Venom symbiote, and he creates a bomb, which he sets off in New York, of Venoms. And so there's like hundreds of Venoms start controlling people and then birthing. And so the Avengers have to clean it up, and they clean it up in only like 3 episodes. And I was like, that would take way longer than that.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, man. They need to counsel back to get everyone on track, because that same thing happens in the King in Black, where like symbiotes are just everywhere, to the point where Blade has to go enlist the aid of Dracula. He's like, listen, so unless you get involved in this, there's not going to be any more food.
Right.
But what do you think, man? What do you think? I just think there's too much convoluted shit going on. A lot of this is rumor mill. But you can't have Null and God Emperor Doom. What's the fucking point, bro? What's the point? Where's this shit going, man? Where's it going?
You know, I like I said, Kevin Feige's making a lot of decisions that I wouldn't make, and so I don't know where he's going with it. I don't know what his thought process is. Yo, this Robert Downey Jr. take, I'm like, I don't even. Are you on drugs? I want to ask Kevin Feige if he's on drugs.
He's like, only the best. Only the best.
He can afford them. Yo, my man is worth like $300 million or something. You know, so I don't know what they're doing. Why would they save Venom? Here's what I'm saying. Maybe they are saving Venom for Spider-Man 4, and they want to give Tom Holland the black suit, which I'm kind of against. Just because, you know what, we've already seen it. Yeah. We've all been there. I'm good. However, I did want a good movie where they just, here's what it is. With the multiverse, they're overthinking everything. They're going crazy on everything. I want a simple plot. And there's so many simple plots that Marvel hasn't touched. Like, for instance, Spider-Man versus Venom. It's that simple. Make a movie. Make him fight Tom Holland. That's all I need. I don't need some elaborate shit. Just have them fight.
Right. Make a Blade movie. Get Blade out there. Have him kill some vampires, man.
like you know, the future convicted sex offender, Bo DeMeo said, I wrote a Blade movie, and he says it's basically the raid with vampires. I love that idea. Do it.
Yeah.
I would watch that movie. I'd probably see it twice.
That dog hunts, man. Let's get to the important news. What the people really stuck around for, man. We'll see how this whole thing pans out.
Donald Trump's new girlfriend.
Yeah, Donald Trump's potential assassination and his new girlfriend. What are your thoughts, Mantis? What the hell is going on here?
Okay, so the first thing I got to say is I know of Laura Loomer. I do not know who she is. And so all I know is she is that person on Twitter who always makes racist jokes that are totally inappropriate.
Right.
And so Donald Trump apparently made her his advisor, and she coached him for the debate.
Right.
And people are wondering why like, yo, you know what this is? Once again, we're going back to Game of Thrones. Do you remember Stannis Baratheon?
Yes.
Stannis Baratheon decides to be a monotheist. Everyone else is a polytheist in the story, and he's like, and he has a beautiful priestess named, everyone calls her the Red Woman, and for a while there, the only person who he allows to counsel him is the Red Woman. And there's all these rumors that they're banging or whatever. It's really some religious fanaticism thing. But this is what it is. It's like Donald Trump has a migraine. The only one who can see him.
Do you think Donald Trump will offer up his daughter to the stake for Laura?
Right. Will it go there? That's the question. I do, as long as it's one of the ugly ones. I don't. Here's what it is. Donald Trump. You know what his real weakness is? I'll tell you this right now. Ivanka is his greatest weakness, as she is mine. He would never offer her up. However, any of his other daughters, like Tiffany, he would in a second.
Right.
But not Ivanka. So why is he hanging out with this racist woman? What is going on?
Well, even more importantly, how did she make it this far in? She's slowly mutating. I sent you and Shaolin a meme where she's definitely that chick from The Boys. What's her name? Stormfront?
Firecracker.
No, not Firecracker. The other one.
You think Stormfront, the Nazi bitch?
Yeah, I sent you a video if you want to watch it, man, and you just let me know.
Oh no, I'm gonna put it on right now. Absolutely.
Because for her to be Margary Green Taylor this is very comic book. You know, whenever a new villain comes out, they have to take out the old villain, right? Or the old villain teams up with the heroes to defeat the new villain. He's like, we cannot exist in the same place at the same time. And you find out the villain just sons him up. Margary Green Taylor actually came out publicly and denounced this woman, which I found wildly interesting, man. Like, just bugs me out completely. I'm sorry, it's a Destiny stream, I know, but go ahead.
I mean, it's whatever. As long as we get that impact.
What's going on here, man? Listen, it's some sort of strange love triangle, right? You have two prominent MAGA cultists fighting over the same man. It's a classic 90s rom-com situation, just like set instead of in a high school, in a cult with a bunch of like, you know, racists and bigots and authoritarians. So it's like an authoritarian 1990s rom-com where Margary Taylor Green is the reasonable figure in this arrangement. She is very upset that Donald Trump is flirting politically or perhaps otherwise with Laura Loomer, who is perhaps the only MAGA cultist who would make somebody like Margary Taylor Green look kind of chill. So for context.
So, I got to say this. So for those who don't know, Margary Taylor Green is a congresswoman who literally after every single session of Congress, she would text with Trump about what happened. And anytime something would happen, she'd be like, don't worry, guys. And she became his mouthpiece. Like, through Margary Taylor Green, she would talk to everyone. Now, I got to tell you this. Margary Taylor Green, when she wants to, is a fine-looking woman. If you've seen her last year's Halloween costume, where she was the Statue of Liberty, primo shit. Now, I'm more of a Lauren Boebert type of chick, just because she's both crazy and she carries guns. But Margary Taylor Green is basically... she's a divorcee, so she's free to bang Trump if he so wanted to. But she was basically obsessed with Trump and is like Trump's hoe, basically, right?
Right.
Laura Loomer came out of nowhere. Like, who is she to be part of this?
I'm trying to look up this picture. I want to see
I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Oh, is this not AI generated? This has got to be AI generated.
What?
Her and as the Statue of Liberty.
Send it to me in Discord. I'll tell you if it is or not.
But continue your point. I'm sorry.
The point is, this is so funny that as soon as he starts hanging out with another woman, Margary Taylor Green is jealous.
I mean, she used to do CrossFit. I believe she was a CrossFit gym owner, so we know she's in shape, right? I'm not taking her stats, but she is a crazy person, man. In fact, remember when they had to evacuate everyone during everyone's favorite holiday, January 6th, aka Liberation Day? She was down there with all the evacuated power hoarders, and she looked like a little kid trying their best to get in on daycare. But that same little kid had peed on everyone's book bag just moments before.
Matt says Trump needs to drop Laura Loomer. Shaolin says this hag makes Marjorie Taylor Greene look sane. He says mantis. I'm sure you've seen with the Lauren Borbert comment. You are
wilding right now.
Yes, I'm wilding right now. Rico says I still hate Destiny. Yeah, I hate Destiny beyond belief. But I'll watch this video. Destiny's takes are AI generated, probably. Matt says, yeah, man, it's Lauren Boebert and those titties. Yeah, here's what it is. I have a tendency to date like crazy women, so Lauren Boebert fits it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's some sense to it. Some sense to the thing she says. Sheldon says Lauren Boebert is definitely bad. Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like one of those hyenas that worked for Scar. Wow, I love boobs, says Matt. Wow. Let's see what we got. You got the picture? Oh no, that's not the picture. That's not the picture I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, this is clearly AI generated.
You know what? We're gonna put it in both our Discords and the Statue of Liberty thing, but let's see what these guys have to say.
Laura Loomer, who is not a Republican congressperson, she ran for office and lost badly. She is a MAGA influencer, and she's very devoted to Donald Trump. And she is also a bigot. She says incendiary things all the time. The vice president posts a thing on Twitter celebrating national.
By the way, Lauren Loomer is responsible for the tweet. This is crazy. The tweet I find the most racist I've ever heard in my life.
What was that?
And I'm going to repeat it right now. No, so she just tweeted, if Kamala Harris is made president,
Yeah, that's what they're about to talk about right now.
The White House is going to reek of curry powder.
Yes.
And I'm like thinking, that is straight up just a racist statement.
That is a wild statement, and she said it out loud, but she's Jewish, and she took issue with MTG's stance on Jewish lasers. So
Laura Loomer is Jewish? Yeah, the story could not even get more wilder.
Grandparents' Day, and she talks about her South Asian grandparents, and then Laura Loomer responds with this really unhinged racist screed, talking about if Kamala wins the presidency, the White House is going to smell like curry, and everybody's going to speak like they're giving tech support and things like that. And Margary Taylor Green came out of nowhere and was like, that's pretty racist and f***ed up. And again, just knowing all the anti-Semitic and bigoted things,
Margary Taylor Green
has said,
someone else
the pot
racist.
Calling the kettle black. But then this triggered a whole meltdown in MAGA world.
I don't think that she has the experience or the right mentality to advise a very important president. Why do you think the former president?
And then looming in the background, I need to know the thoughts of the woman who was given a hand job at the opera. Where's that broad at?
Lauren Boebert. My girl, Boebert. That's my queen right there. If I was Trump, I'd be chilling with her all the time. Poor Marjorie. She's now second. She used to be first, and now she's second, and she's upset about it. It's obvious. Poor girl. This is too funny. Let's watch.
Getting bad advice, or he's getting bad advice from her.
I'm not involved in their conversation, so I can't weigh in on that.
Oh my God, she looks so hurt. She says, I'm not involved in their conversations.
She is a literal crazy person. I mean, literally, as I'm looking at her, I say, young men, beware of the hot chick you're with now, because they grow into this old person right here.
And so I have to say the best advice I've ever been given is somebody's just there's two pieces of advice I'd like to give you guys. First one pertaining to what we're talking about. Meet her mother.
Right.
And that is a future preview of your girlfriend or wife.
Yes.
And then the other one is how do you guess a woman's age? Her hands. No matter how good, let's say she doesn't crack, the hands will wither, and you'll see something. Pay close attention to the hands, gentlemen. Anyway, moving on.
I do know this, that her rhetoric and her tone does not match the base, does not match MAGA, does not match most Republicans I know, and I'm completely denouncing it. I'm over it, and I would encourage anyone else that matches her statements to stop.
The thing is that Trump's doubled down on it. Trump was asked about this during a press conference or a campaign event in California yesterday, and he was asked about it repeatedly by multiple reporters, and he's like, listen, Laura Loomer, she's a free spirit, and she's really devoted.
Laura is a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants. She's a free spirit.
And so he just doubled down on his association with Loomer, even though multiple Republicans, not just Green, are coming out of the woodwork and just begging him, please, for the love of God, let her go. He won't, man.
Yeah, I feel like Loomer is one of those lurking, really a prominent, I would say, conservative voice on X that tweets some of the craziest things that are on that platform. Consistent source of misinformation, disinformation, racist, hateful, just terrible things. But I mean, at least you could just say they were, just random people on Twitter, just random people on X. But the fact that Trump seems to be dating her now, do you have an opinion on this?
I mean, Donald Trump is well known, Stephen. I don't know what you're talking about, but he's well known as a man who really respects and honors his marriage vows, and not at all a philanderer. Would never stray from Melania, who clearly loves.
So here's why I wanted to point out that these two guys are idiots, and I know they're joking. or whatever. But here's another thing that Donald Trump is also known for. He's a billionaire, and he's never banged anyone who wasn't hot on a main level. And so Lauren Loomer is a disgusting animal. And I don't mean to sinfully detract someone's humanity because they're ugly, but this bitch is not a human. She's an animal and needs to be put in a kennel because she's ugly as fuck and
She
sin.
is slowly morphing into her final form in front of our eyes, man.
Right. She's Cell in the middle of fucking transforming. And so I don't, here's what it is. I understand that he's been taken by her tactics or whatever. She's the new who's that asshole who did Breitbart? Remember he had a dude who ended up going to jail who was the editor of Breitbart magazine, which was like a racist.
Yeah.
That's his new thing. That's his new thing. He wants to keep. Here's what it is. He wants, and I agree. I admit he does this as a man who's going to vote for him, as a man of color who's going to vote for him. I admit that Donald Trump does walk the line between racist and not racist, and he hangs out with racists to kind of teach him how to do this. He's like, so what are you white supremacists talking about this today? And they're like, well, F the blah 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 blah. And he's like, okay, and he tries to get as close to that line as possible. And that's why he keeps people like Lauren Loomer Wren.
He winks and nods at that side all the time, and sometimes
all the time. I think it's kind of brilliant.
Again, I think it's politically suicide, but hey, what do I know, man? I'm just some old black guy in the basement making a podcast.
I think Kamala Harris speaking is political suicide. So like I don't know if you saw her last interview. That was a train wreck. Even the liberals tried to hide it that it exists.
Got to keep the mic from in front of that woman at all costs, man. Like literally, it's between her and Ronald Reagan. Like, who do you let speak?
Yes, exactly. But ultimately, Trump would. I don't think he would bang Laura Loomer because he's a billionaire. And trust me, there are hot younger women who are willing to bang him lining up. There is no way he's gonna dirty his dick with this bitch. What it is that he wants to learn what racists are up to.
Yeah.
What's the the polls?
Man, her chin is wild. Also, here I just looked up a picture of her. I was like, let me just make sure she's
disgusting. She is fucking disgusting. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm being a real asshole right now, but
not at all. Because this is the only time feminists would be okay with you being a chauvinist or critiquing the look of a woman if it's someone with a different political view than theirs. I thought the craziest thing.
Steve Bannon says, man. Yeah, Steve Bannon was his racist.
I thought the craziest thing I was going to see on the internet today was this week was going, or last week was going to be Jill Stein versus AOC. But when this hit, I was like, man, the women are out of control right now. They're going after each other. Are you not up to speed on this Jill Stein third party member and AOC beefing?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Jill Stein referred to AOC as a Democrat shill or just a part of the establishment, and that. Then she went on the Breakfast Club, got into it with Angela Rye. Angela Rye is like, you can't say.
Wait, AOC went on Breakfast Club or Jill Stein?
Jill Stein. And Jill Stein was going up against Angela Rye, and Angela Rye is like, I think it's interesting you're saying this thing about women of color. And AOC referred to Jill Stein as predatory because she hasn't been able to build a base that can get a certain amount of power and foothold in the election process. Which, let's be candid, Democrats are the sole reason that a third party cannot get a strong foothold. They will not let that happen.
Here's what I'm saying. I will say, as a man who has in the past actually voted for the Green Party, it is incompetent that Jill Stein can't win an election, but she keeps putting herself up. She's the head of the party, and she keeps putting herself up. Meanwhile, the Libertarians, every 4 years, they put up a different person because at least they're trying new shit.
Yeah.
But the Green Party, I cannot take you seriously if you keep putting the same old haggard hippie up. Try to find someone else. You guys need to recruit either Joe Rogan or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then we can talk.
Get someone sexy out there, man. This is about the aesthetic look, man. Get these old people back in the house. Keep them away from the cameras.
Here's the thing. The reason why the Mantis exists, this is my whole purpose, is that I'm here to say the things that you're all scared to say. And so here's the thing. You all want an aesthetic look to your president. You do not want an Ugbo in office. None of you would vote for Lauren Loomer. Let's get real. Right? And so here's what I'm saying. AOC isn't like the belle of the ball, but she's not hard on the eyes. Is there a reason why she won? Maybe that. Maybe Margary Taylor Green's, Lady Liberty costume is the reason people vote for her. Maybe Lauren Boebert's titties is why they vote for her. There's a million of these things going on. But I will say, no one wants an Ugbo as their president or congressperson. It's facts.
Is that why people rallied against Joe Biden? They're like, he's just so old. He's hard on.
He's so old and disgusting. Exactly. The only reason why Kamala has like kind of a bump is she's more attractive.
You should definitely get a job as a political, like, just. I can see you saying this shit on CNN, and it would be amazing. Like, let's get down past policy. Let's get past
brass tacks, bro. Ugbos do not hang on to their office if they even get there. And so here's what it says. But you know what it is? It's because we are shallow animals. As the gospel points out, we are shallow and vapid, and we usually choose the wrong path. And so we are looking for shallow characteristics in our leaders rather than deep ones. Somewhere in this universe, there is the smartest man with the greatest policies who's ugly as shit and will never get elected.
And you're going to make sure he doesn't get elected. Like, listen, you're a backroom guy, not a camera guy.
Right. And so it's not just me. It's the world. I'm just speaking on behalf of the world right now. and so, but it is true. There is some really ugly dude, Quasimodo or some shit, who has all the answers, who could fix society, fix it like that. But we don't want it. What do we want? We want Lauren Boebert. We want like all this other shit.
What was that dude's name in Total Recall? The original, the stomach cancer.
Quato lives or whatever.
Open your mind.
Yeah, somewhere there's a dude who like opens up his shirt and there's a fucking tumor with a face on it, who has all the ideas. He's psychic and he has all the answers. And no one will vote for him because he's fucking ugly as shit. And so and that's why Trump surrounds himself in beauty, except for Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer's ugly, like very ugly. But I'm saying he's got his beautiful wife, his trophy wife, and all these things. And so that responds to the shallow nature of man, and they're like, let me vote for that.
You know what, man? As we close out here, man, I do want Mantis to take a victory lap. I want to give you the platform, but no more than 4 minutes. To take a victory lap right now, because you were right. And I'm going to tell you were right. October 30th is the day of a holiday. But for Mantis, it's going to be a day of celebration for multiple reasons. The Korean oppressive app known as Spoon.
Finish that statement. Say it. Say it.
They are officially closing their American servers after their triumphant return. Spoon is shutting down for good in America, though they left the door open for a potential return.
They always leave a potential, but however, they have been dying for years now, and I called it. I absolutely called it, and I'm gonna dance on their motherfucking graves. And so I am gonna stream every day in October at night. It's gonna be Halloween themed streams. Yes, Matt, that's the app with the fat chick. You can probably meet her because she's probably gonna appear on one of my streams. But I'm gonna be calling up old spooners and all this stuff. But it will finally be the end, and I can finally get some sleep. And my enemy is finally dead. Honestly, I honestly hope that the president of Spoon Korea, like the main guy, I hope he has some really horrible disease and he's having a horrible life. Maybe his kid disowned him. Maybe his wife left him. But I really just wish the worst of life on this man. and his whole company, and anyone who really works for his company. You are a plague on society. Your app has been a plague on society, and I celebrate your end. And honestly, if you don't have a physical grave, I know where your offices in Los Angeles are. I'm thinking of flying out there for the 30th and taking a piss right on there.
Bro,
I will stop off at a 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee. Like it's gonna be a hearty ass piss. And I honestly, a lot of people don't know this. I have an illness, and it makes my urine green and incredibly smelly. And that's for you, Korea. That's for you, Spoon. You're gonna have to fucking sit in that. That's how freaking real it's getting right now.
There's no need to fly out to LA because their office is most likely a 99-cent store or a Dollar General. But if they can't keep the app alive, they definitely don't have an office in LA anymore. That's
Matt says, "Oh, bummer, man." It says, now the Spoon is closed. Are you gonna talk to the fat girl now? She'll still stalk me. She'll still. I was literally typing that last message when you brought up the fat girl. I knew you would ask. And that's what I love about you, man. You're a consistent guy. Consistent. I'm gonna do live streams every day in October, Halloween themed, but also dancing on Spoon's grave. Oh, I'm so hard right now. I cannot express that enough. I'm very hard. No mo. No mo. Sheldon says, "Can't wait, brother. I'll be there." So yeah, if you guys want to see me get even harder, please tune in October. Every day, 30 days of streaming on Spoon and other apps as well.
Nice.
If you don't want to patronize these idiots, you don't have to. It's gonna be on Spoon and Twitch, Facebook, and maybe some other ones.
Oh, so at this point, the only one still standing is Clubhouse from the original audio platforms, and I don't go there.
That's the sad thing. I did some research. I was looking around. Like everyone, all of them are just gone. Yeah, so Green Room has clearly been gone for a while, but like Pokechaw and Breakout and like all these other ones. You think even AMP? Remember AMP? Nicki Minaj had a morning show on AMP, and so audio streaming is like dead. And I have a feeling that, like, no offense to Clubhouse, I have a feeling that it's eventually going to die. It's just richer than everyone else.
Yeah, because Clubhouse started as like an exclusive thing and they made it open to the public. I'm just going to check and see how Bigo Live is doing.
So here's what it is. It's audio only that are dying. Bigo Live 17, a bunch of these other ones are still going strong. You know why? There is the cam girl aspect.
Oh yeah, I was going to say suspected cam girls.
Whenever there's suspected cam girls, you have money, you have business, right? You have transactions going on. But like the audio only, which we're audio files, right? We're all about audio. We're radio DJs. Unfortunately, this thing that we had a golden age of at one point, we took for granted. Actually, no, me and you didn't take for granted.
No, we didn't take it for granted at all.
We streamed all the time on Green Room. We streamed all the time on Spoon. We were loving it. We were embracing it. It's our followers who took it for granted. So fuck them. I don't mean you guys now. I mean those assholes we used to roll with. Back in the day. So it's dying out, which honestly, here's what I'm saying. I'm going to eventually bring it back.
I'm with you, man.
And so here's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna front. It sounds like I'm a bitcher right now. I pay a lot of money to maintain a radio station, and that is our audio platform. It may not be live, it may not be like, we may not have the chat, but I'm saying we still have a venue into the audio world, and from there I'm going to grow from there, and I'm going to be the one who relaunches the audio app, and unlike these assholes who ran them wrong, I'm going to run it correctly.
As long as you name it Fork, I'm there.
I was thinking Spork. Or condom. I'm not sure. This drawing board, things are happening. We'll see.
Folks, this has been another episode of Bad Boy Bodily School. Mantis, where can the people find you?
So you can find me on Live 365, aka known as Riz Radio, which is also rizradio.com. You can find us really ultimately where any online radio is happening. Riz Radio is the place to be. Every Friday at 6 p.m. to 10, I'm doing your top 40 countdown on my show, Bop 40 Countdown. It's going to be an amazing one. And then you're going to find a more chill, relaxed, more cynical stream on Sundays, 6 to 10, called Burn Your Degree. Where can they find you, brother?
Thursday nights, you can get Mic Check over on rizradio.com. And Sundays, you can get Dope Dynamics, man. Keeping it real with my friends, talking about stuff nonstop.
Yo, it has been a good freaking time. Yo, guys, thanks for stopping in. We are getting out of here. We are the Fanboy Modeling School. Remember to like, share, subscribe, send spoons, bits, money, donations, whatever all the good things are. Please do it, and we greatly appreciate you. I am the Fat Mantis. You are
Steve, real name no gimmicks,
and we are signing off. Until next time, ciao for motherfucking now,
bitches.